everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri from Keller Field in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It is going to be a pivotal matchup as it's the Battle of the Birds, the Carthage College Firebirds, welcoming the Blue Jays of Elmhurst College. As we take a look at where these two teams are, again, Elmhurst 5-6 on the season, 0-3 in conference play. They had a tough loss recently against Augustana. They had the lead, relinquished it at the end, couldn't quite make it up. Let's look at the numbers in the conference overall. Two key parts to stand up. Offensively, not quite where they would like to be this season, but on the defensive side, one of the top teams. As you can see, the save percentage, 51.3. That means everything that's getting fired at them, they're able to turn around and make a stop, as well as the opponent's goals per game. So with how strong we mentioned those defenders are, it really comes into fruition in a good way for the Blue Jays. They, of course, led defensively by the goalkeeper, Karina Salmon, the 5'4" senior out of Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. She will be heading back to Canada after graduation. A lot of seniors on this squad making huge impacts for Elmhurst. She is one of the many different business and nursing majors that the senior class has for Elmhurst. They also have a strong freshman class. It's top heavy, it's bottom heavy, with those bottom players, of course, the future for Elmhurst and the Blue Jay squad. Now let's take a look and flip the script for the Carthage College Firebirds. With a win tonight, of course, they will lock themselves into a postseason position. With the wins and losses of the other teams in the out-of-town scoreboard, we will keep you afloat of that. Carthage could lock in the 2 seed potentially. If they win out, guaranteed the number 2 seed. Let's look where they're at in the conference. If you notice, a lot of 1s and a lot of 2s in the CCIW. Carthage 2-1 in conference play. Carroll already locking in that number 1, 4-0 in the conference, but that log jam in the middle. Illinois Wesleyan 2-2, North Central 1-2. That's the matchup on Saturday. Carthage will be at North Central. Augustana nipping at the heels now of North Central. So again, Elmhurst and Augustana were really a crucial matchup just a few days ago, as of course the winner of that would stay right in the hunt for that 4th and final seed. Of course, if it ended today, the regular season, next week, North Central at Carroll, Illinois Wesleyan at Carthage. So again, so pivotal that Carthage continues on their winning ways, locks in that 3rd conference win, and then the logjam would sort itself out for that 3 and 4 seed in the conference standings for the CCIW. If we can go back to the stats for the Carthage College Firebirds, just again to recap, thank you so much to our excellent production crew. Goals per game, first, 14.3. Save percentage, we talked about who is second, Elmhurst. Well, first is the Firebirds of Carthage. Assists per game, turnovers per game, draw controls per game. Now that is the absolute lethal part of this combination against head coach Maddie Burney, has taken over the helm, one of the finest players in Carthage College history at her own right, joined by second-year assistant coach, former standout Rachel Harris. Shout out to the Harris family, always viewers of the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And Alessandra Almendarez, if you are joining us for the first time this season, first off, welcome. Second off, if you're an Elmhurst fan, you say, that name kind of sounds familiar. Almendarez is one of the best goalkeepers in the history of the CCIW and arguably the best in Carthage College history. She is now a first-year assistant coach, leading that next charge of goalkeepers for Carthage College. Looks to be Kara Janes today, the sophomore out of Fishers, Indiana. But again, why does that bear mentioning? When you see the save percentage, when you see the opponent goals per game, that is at the helm and at the right hand of Almendarez and what she is able to do. Turning over to the P announcer introductions, national anthem. We'll be back in a minute.
Carthage College Firebirds. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Blue Jays. At attack, number 1, Gracie Eastman. At midfield, number 2, MC Brown. At midfield, number 4, Grace Lorkowitz. At attack, number 8, Gabby Malik. On defense, number 12, Michaela Armstrong. At attack, number 13, Paige Moniz. At midfield, number 14, Ashley Sardon. At midfield, number 15, Andrea Mertlin. At attack, number 16, Paige Palmero. And on defense, number 20, Contessa Simzak. On defense, number 21, Ella Conyers. And in goal, wearing number 0, Corinna Salmon. The head coach of Elmhurst is Sloan Baumgartner, and they are assisted by Sands Jones and Abby Tribby.
Even if you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be night.
Sir, flex I do work. Six up like Mike. He's on sight. Whoa, they got me pipe. Two man like Ike. Six up the spot. Into the night. Yeah, I'm shaking the drop. I'm still up on top. I've been had the pop. The devil my eye. Can't pay me to stop. My God at the top.
And now, the starting lineup for your Carthage College Firebirds. At midfield, number 4, Rosie Nolan. On defense, number 5, Miss Hannah Kim. On defense, number 9, Sydney Kuyeva. On attack, number 10, Ari Solomon. On defense, number 13, Caitlin Goff. At attack, number 15, Emma McDonald. At midfield, number 16, Taylor Ruff. On defense, number 18, Isabella Kuyeva. On attack, number 19, Piper LaFever. On midfield, number 20, Bailey Kessel. On defense, number 21, Erica Maya. And in goal, sporting number 30, Kara James. The head coach of Carthage is Maddie Purdy, and she is assisted by Rachel Harris and Alessandra Almaderas. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Women's Lacrosse. The Battle of the Birds, the Blue Jays of Elmhurst University taking on the Firebirds of Carthage College. Hello everybody, and thank you for being with us on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Let's look through the starting lineup, of course, for the visiting Blue Jays, desperate for a win and to win out to have any hope of the postseason. in the CCIW. Salmon back at goal, Eastman, Brown, Malik Armstrong, Moniz, of course Palermo on the attack, and Conyers going to be one of your defenders. A very balanced attack for the Blue Jays this evening. Now flipping over to the home Firebirds off the beautiful lakefront of Lake Michigan. Nolan, Kim, Kayeva, Solomon, Goff, McDonald on the attack, Ruff, Kayeva, Isabella, the midfielder, Piper, Lefevre, Castle, Maya, and James back in goal. So a diversified attack, a proud attack for Carthage College. Augie Claridge not in the lineup today. Any updates on her, we will provide. One of the best attackers, not only in the CCIW, but in the nation at the Division III level. Hoping all is okay. About to get underway in the draw circle. Right to left is going to be the home Firebirds in their whites with red numbers and letters, black trim. The Blue Jays in the road blues with black numbers and letters and white trim. We are underway in Kenosha and face-off won by the Blue Jays. One of the newer programs in the CCIW, still looking for their first conference win on the season. No better time would be now against the Firebirds. And a tough one recently against Augustana. Last time these two teams met, August the 6th of 2024, so just over a year ago, a 20-1 victory for the Firebirds over the Blue Jays. However, it is a much different team takeaway by the Firebirds. So as we applaud the visiting Blue Jays, let's flip over to Carthage College. Pass up ahead. Again, down Augie Claridge. Let's see who steps up for the Birds. Rosie Nolan off the right-hand side. Passing it off one time, resetting up back to Nolan. Near side now at the top is going to be Piper Lefevre. Lefevre, one of the best in her early career, a junior now, so played alongside Bernie, played alongside Harris. And when speaking with Coach Bernie about the lineup, about this team this season, she said, look, we're not going to redo what was working for so many years. She said, we tried to find people to replace me, to replace Rachel, put them in the lineup, keep the system as is. And with that being said, already about to approach one hash off to the right on the 8-meter arc. Driving in, bounce shot and good. Piper Lefevre delivers the opening goal for the Carthage College Firebirds. Lefevre, second on the team in goals coming into today with 38. Make that number 39 now on the season, and that is a start that the Firebirds want. Again, if you're just looking at the numbers, you say to yourself, well, Elmhurst, they have a tough challenge up against them with the Carthage College Firebirds. You want to score early, you want to score often. If you're Carthage, get that lead, make it insurmountable, try to get that running clock, and prepare yourself and heal as much as possible going into not only this weekend's match against North Central, but the CCIW tournament, which is already next Wednesday. My goodness, what a fast season. And it surely has been fun to be with you this season. On the near side, after the draw control win, which has been a strong suit for the Firebirds this year. A diversified attack, Kaylee Higgins with 40 draw controls. And the Firebirds 8-0 all time. Against Elmhurst. Carthage has scored over 20 in their 4 last contests. Closest matchup you could say was the 16-6 game 10 years ago, almost to the date, the 25th of April 2015. That was a 16-6 victory for the Firebirds over the Blue Jays. April 25th, of course, my wife's birthday. Happy early birthday. Back at X. Now goes the Firebirds. Score Lefevre unassisted off that draw, off of that free position. Lefevre. Passing off to the left. Making a move off to the left. Looks to be Hannah Kim, and she loses a handle. And the defense stands tall for Elmhurst. Again, as we mentioned in the pregame show, that is indeed the strength of this Elmhurst squad. They just do not let a lot of players score, and score often. If they do score, easier said than done. A short bench for the Blue Jays by our vantage point. 4 players not dressed for Elmhurst. 1 sub on the sideline. So a green card now issued, it looks to be, against Hannah Kim. Yes, indeed, Hannah Kim called with the green card, a 60-second delay. So again, those not familiar with the green card implemented last year for the first time at the NCAA level. That being said, it kind of prevents injuries, doesn't want to slow down the game in the middle of the field. Slows the ride down a bit. You got to be really spot on with your ride approach. Otherwise, you're like Hannah Kim and you're in the penalty box on the sideline for 60 seconds. So player up advantage for Elmhurst. Can they take advantage? Trying to spin through, hitting the ground hard. That should be a cross check right into the rib cage. Not sure if we're going to have a card or not. Might just have a free position. Because again, it wasn't necessary. The arms of the defender for Carthage, they were extended, but it wasn't an extension that caused the fall. The spin, the Blue Jay, went right into the outstretched hands. But nonetheless, free position now for Elmhurst. Diving in, and a goal! Number 15, Andrea Mertland, the junior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, finds the equalizer for the Blue Jays. That is goal number 13 on the season for Mertland. And ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, we are tied up at 1 apiece. So 1-1-year score that will release that green card. Wasn't much left on it anyway, but in the circle, Piper Lefevre. Again, has been a draw control specialist her entire career for the Firebirds, but had some injuries last year as a sophomore. So that's why the Firebirds were, quote, humming for so much of the season so far. Augie Claridge, the sophomore standout for the Birds, alongside the returning all-freshman player of Piper Lefevre, of course resulted in an amazing 1-2 punch for the Firebirds, resulting in a 10-3 overall record, 2-3 in conference play. Of course, we'll keep you afloat to that out-of-town scoreboard during any timeouts that occur. A little bit of a crispy evening in Kenosha, but a beautiful day nonetheless. 7 degrees when things got started off. My goodness, where else would you rather be on a Wednesday evening if you're a fan of lacrosse than a crucial game for the Firebirds? They want to try and do everything they can to secure that 2 seed. Tied at 1, 5.5 into the game. And we have a yellow card issued. That time against Rosie Nolan. So a yellow card issued on Nolan, shakes her head, not in agreement, but a green card on Kim resulted in goal number 1 for the Blue Jays. Now, a yellow card, so 3 minutes of penalty time favoring Elmhurst, breaking through. Sun starting to set off the west. here at Art Keller Field. Bounce shot. Is it going to count? It is. And Elmhurst takes the lead. What a shot. And a timeout is going to be called by Carthage College, understandably so. It was a goal by number 14, Ashley Sardon, the freshman. And Sardon, her 9th goal on the season. What a turn of events. Again, if you're the Carthage College Firebirds, you came out hot, you got what you wanted, you got that opening goal. But then, green card, Hannah Kim, goal. Long range shooting by Sardon, the 5'3" freshman out of Chula Vista, California. And just like that, this is a hyped Elmhurst squad. And some may say not what many expected for the Carthage College Firebirds up until this point. As we look at what got us here, again, Lefevre with the unassisted goal in the free position off of 3 shots. 2 ground balls picked up by Ruff and Kieva. However, on the flip side, Mertland with a goal and Sardon with a goal has resulted in a 2-1 advantage. Again, just to set the scene, we spoke about it. We will keep delving into it until things really start to separate themselves or stay this close. Carthage College right now in the driver's seat to be the 2nd seed. A win here and a win on Saturday in Naperville against North Central locks in the number 2 seed in the CCIW tournament, therefore hosting whoever is number 3 a week from today. Elmhurst, 5-6 record overall, 0-3 in conference play. However, they are in a situation where 2 more wins could potentially get them where they need to go. So Ashley Sardon, and we do see a switch in the middle now in the draw control. Bailey Castle, the 5'1" sophomore out of Chesterfield, will be lining up against number 1 Grace Eastman out of Austin, Texas. And the Firebirds come away with it, and Hannah Kim picks up the ground ball. Let's see what the timeout for head coach Maddie Burney comes into play, and that might have resulted already in a free position opportunity for the Firebirds. It looks like Caitlin Goff is going to go to the 8-meter. 1 click to the left. Driving in, upper right shelf, the equalizer. For number 13, Caitlin Goff out of Park Ridge, Illinois. And Goff able to find goal number 10 on the season. And so whatever Coach Burney and co said during that timeout proved itself fruitful. As my goodness, that is exactly what you want to see if you're the Firebirds. Get the draw control. Kim, in my opinion, regardless of D1, 2, or 3 in the amount of lacrosse I have called, one of the fastest players across the conferences in the nation. I mean, she is a blazer, able to push up the pace, get it over to number 13, Caitlin Goff. Goff draws the free position, tie 2-2 apiece. Side going back to the middle now, so draw control again. Number 1 in the conference are the Firebirds. You wouldn't know it here today so far because Elmhurst is standing tall. The ride for Carthage has gotten them in trouble so far. A green card on Kim and a yellow card as well on Rosie Nolan, resulting in the woman up advantage for Elmhurst, and both of their goals scored that way. Taken away now on the near side with the full sprint. Stretch pass up ahead. Lefevre challenged a bit, but she's finding the left lane. Goes up ahead, 1 more touch to Bailey Castle. Castle now passing the 30-meter, or the 30-yard retention line. slowing down. That one was a bit close. Many lines here at Art Keller Field. Down. Goal. And going up one, number 15, Emma McDonald out of Maplewood, Minnesota. And just like that, McDonald helping the Firebirds with goal number 8 on the year.
And the Firebirds goal by number 15, Emma McDonald.
So now comes in the situation where if you're the Firebirds down 2-1, now have 2 unanswered. If you're Elmhurst, how many more do you let go before you utilize your first timeout? Another draw control won by the Blue Jays. She tried to flip it over the back of her head. It looked to have been Andrea Mertland. She was challenged by a 3-person slide right across the middle, flicked it over the back of her head, trying to find any sort of defender. That triangle trap, as we take another look at that goal scored off to the left side. This is where cutting in on one of the prior goals was beautiful play. Oh, my goodness. Goff off to the streaking teammate McDonald to the right. Up by 1. So for arguably one of the first times of the evening, halfway through quarter number 1, the Firebirds now. Hannah Kim, that quick one-step. Dodging back, I mean, shifty is sometimes an overused adjective, but that defines Hannah Kim. Quickness, shiftiness, able to plant the foot, move back where it goes. Not to mention, as the Energizer Bunny goes, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I mean, she sometimes just gets blasted running across the midfield, but takes the foul, pops back up, moves on. However, misguided pass by the Firebirds has allowed the Blue Jays now to try to find some offense. Flick on the near side, and Hannah Kim comes away with the interception. Looking for the one touch up ahead to Castle. Castle finds it on the ground, and the Blue Jays trying to come away with it, and they do. 5 minutes now remaining. Back to X. Long range shot, not effective. Opportunity now. Hannah Kim. Kim on the season, only 2 goals on 3 assists. But because of her speed, Elmhurst and Co., along with some of the other teams in the CCIW, forced to go away. Kim tries the bounce shot, not able to do so from the dead-on middle of the 8-meter, and Elmhurst comes away with it. The only loss in conference play, a 3-5 loss home against Carroll on the 9th of April in that 1 versus 2 battle. And when both teams are low scoring, you just know that it is that powerhouse battle. Again, Elmhurst falling 10-8 versus Augustana. Held scoreless against Carroll 18-0. So already showing they are a growing program. Defeated Wisconsin-Stevens Point 10-9 for their last victory of the season. That was on the 17th of March. Is it going to count? It will now be 8-meter opportunity now for Lefevre. Clock continues to run. 3-2. Lefevre, 2 quick first steps. Going off to the right, not sure if that was deflected away by Salmon or not. But nonetheless, now the defense for the Firebirds is what's going to have to start standing tall. And the reason I say that is the ride, as you see right there, not allowing any breathing room for Paige Palermo out of Elmhurst, Illinois. Finds the near sideline. And because of the green and yellow card called so far, misguided pass just a bit behind. Was trying to float over the shoulder of number 2, MC Brown, the senior out of Boylan Catholic, McChesney Park, Illinois. Elmhurst, crisis averted, back on the offensive, looking for the equalizer. 2:28 remaining in quarter number 1. Dodging off to the right, losing the handle on the dodge attempt. Can the defense stand up for the Firebirds? Once again, Palermo finds it. Palermo had weathered the storm early on now, really starting to find a groove. Double knee brace in the helmet. But coming away with the interception, hitting the ground though once again, looked to be Taylor Ruff, the sophomore out of Trinity, Florida. On the ground, Elmhurst didn't quite see it, but having to stay at the retention line was Rosie Nolan, the midfielder. So once again, you can only have a certain amount of players past that 30-yard retention line. So Nolan wanted to stick the stick over, can't do that. You used to be allowed to stand at the 30 and put your stick over. Now the entire ball has to come over. You cannot put your stick over to pull it back into play. The stretch pass, too far. Once again, I'm sure Carthage not overly happy about that play. Short bench for the Firebirds this time around. 3 players suited up but not playing. Not sure if that's Augie Claridge with the right knee brace, but we'll get more on that. So whistle called on the near side. Carthage's aggressiveness at that midfield mark has resulted in a green and 2 yellows. Another whistle called. "30 seconds remaining in quarter number 1, and if you expected anything but a battle, you are mistaken. Carthage now pushing the pace, trying to find a goal before the end of the quarter. Up ahead to Goff. Goff, long range, tries to push it through, and a goal! 8 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Locking in at 5.5 on the clock when all is said and done. And what a goal by number 15, once again, Emma McDonald. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Goal by number 15, Emma McDonald.
Her second goal of the afternoon.
Number 13,
Put a little extra special sauce on that one. Flying past Karina Salmon. Not much you could do. That beautiful touch. And again, what stems from it? Right after the possession change, you just see the Firebirds spreading their wings, far side, near side, splitting the defenders, stretching them thin. Kim one touch up ahead. Caitlin Goff to McDonald. McDonald, bam, lasers it through. So 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Firebirds about to be up by 2 with 3, with 2, with 1. Whistle will blow, and at the end of 1, Carthage leads Elmhurst 4-2. When we come back, quarter number 2 action and some out-of-town scoreboard updates on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Looking at the team stats so far live on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. The final home regular season game for the Carthage College Firebirds this season. In the face-off circle with the draw control, Piper Lefevre once again jumping back in. It was Bailey Castle for a cup of coffee. Flicking again. And that draw control for Andrea Martland, the 5'4" junior. Again, she is 5+ inches at the deficit compared to Lefevre, and for the most part, unfazed. Once again, Carroll number 1, Carthage number 2, Elmhurst 0-3. But again, an opportunity to win out and make some magic happen. Easier said than done. Number 15, Emma McDonald, yet again, throw the hat down, ladies and gentlemen, the hat trick for McDonald. So after Elmhurst had the 2-1 lead, all smiles for Emma McDonald. Will keep you afloat to career highs, season highs, but 3 goals in the first quarter and 39 seconds. And Elmhurst has never defeated the Firebirds. The smallest deficit was 10 years ago, almost to the day, of 10 goals. Issued on Piper Lefevre. So 3rd card issued. Let's take another look at that goal. Look at the little hop step. Jab to the right. Getting a leg up on the defender. Planting. And that's where that pass back coming in from X point blank. And what are you going to do? Not much. My goodness. Emma McDonald floating back at X. The slide at the top. The speed of what Carthage was presenting offensively didn't allow much at all. 5-2 your score. Assist by Castle. Again, Castle drawing the slide, and with the rotation of defenders, McDonald sneaking back from X, as once again Hannah Kim fighting through defensively, and back at X go the Firebirds. They regained possession with a strong defensive presence. Hannah Kim. Somebody go get her jersey. Look at that triple team splitting the uprights is Sydney Kayeva. Her sister Isabella, the freshman. Fighting through the defense. The pacing. The one touch to the right if they could find McDonald. They do. McDonald back to X, resetting up the offense for the Birds. Sun starting to set in Kenosha. Season started. Snow on the ground and cancellation for icy conditions for the home opener. The spin-a-rooney. Stick down. That time, Caitlin Goff. That's goal number 2 for Goff.
And a Firebirds goal by number 13, Caitlin.
So Goff now, her 2nd goal. The assist by Castle. And again, Elmhurst was up 2-1. It is a 5-0 run for Carthage. Again, we'll keep you afloat the out-of-town scoreboard right now. North Central was trailing Augustana early. They are now up 10-6. Those are the only 2 games this evening, I should say. And then this weekend, Carroll versus Augustana. North Central welcoming Carthage. And 11 o'clock start time, an early one in Naperville. And then Elmhurst at Illinois Wesleyan. So once again, should Elmhurst find a way to come back and win today? Here's another look at that goal. Planting the left foot, going in, wait for that pass, bam! There's the pass. Oh, and in the meantime, a goal scored by Carthage. Make it, take it, Lacrosse is the story. This time for number 4, Rosie Nolan, goal number 20 on the season. Our replay operators are getting their work cut out for us this evening. I keep saying afternoon because albeit it is 7:30 local time, the sun is starting to set. Because of the weather, I have more or less been used to, as also the lights are flashing here at Art Keller Field, so it's truly just throwing me off. I was like, is it flashing? Is it not? Am I okay? Do I need to sit down? Elmhurst right now, they're taking a seat. They're trying to take a minute to compose themselves. Once again, to recap, up 2-0 off of a green card and a yellow card. They had the player advantage and took advantage. However, ever since then, it has been a 6-0 run. As we look here, taking that first step in, Rosie Nolan was looking for the outlet pass and kind of caught Salmon looking for where the pass may go, kept it herself and delivered. And again, when you have matchups like this, you start looking at what are season highs for certain players. And if you're the Firebirds and you might be without Augie Claridge for an extended period of time, you want to be as prepared as possible. You have to go into North Central, battle the Redbirds, Cardinals versus Firebirds. You're going to go into that matchup with the potential of winner takes the number 2 seed and will be at home next Wednesday, and that could be the matchup again. And the reason I say that is, if, as of now, if Carthage wins versus Elmhurst today and they continue to score at this pace, and if North Central beats Augustana, you will then have a situation on Saturday where that is potentially the battle for the 2 and 3 seed. So those two teams would face each other once again next Wednesday, and the winner of Saturday would host. So there is a potential if North Central wins tonight versus Augustana and then defeats Carthage at home Saturday, they will then welcome Carthage exactly a week from today. So if you're the Firebirds, you got to take care of business tonight, just as Augustana is not doing. Another shot down low. I can't even finish a sentence. Caitlin Goff, the defender, out of Maine South. She gets the hat trick. She had 9 goals coming into today, up to 12 on the season. And the lights are flashing at Art Keller Field. I hope you're not driving by and it throws you off. I did see some flashing lights earlier, so we got pulled over by the sheriff. But nonetheless, it is all Firebirds now, unassisted. Goff, a 7-0 run by Carthage. Piper Lefevre putting on the afterburners. Again, as a freshman, came in and just did amazing things and has continued to be a leader for Carthage. So if we look at this setup now, really spreading that defense thin. 3 players bunched to the right. Nice formation. Allows for Fever to keep it herself. Does. Bounces it. Goes too far. Who is back on the touch? And it's going to stay with the Firebirds. So Elmhurst was back at the back line as we take another look at that prior goal. Once again, dodging in, splitting the uprights. Bottom left corner. And another goal! Or are they going to... I believe it's another goal. They're going to converse about it first. Hannah Kim might have come away with the goal. Sometimes they decide what happened first, the penalty or the goal. Because sometimes, too, they give a continuation. And they're giving Kim the goal. And the reason I say that is sometimes if it is a bang-bang play, whistle, foul goal, they'll give the goal. If it comes early on, they won't give that much continuation. Sometimes, too, it can favor the defender, because if it's too many steps and then they miss, sometimes then that will detract and be automatically a turnover. So that's a third goal on the season for Hannah Kim. So kind of to re-explain that situation, and again, there's a little bit of complication to it. Say you are Hannah Kim in that scenario. You get the whistle, you get the foul, you take 5 more steps, you shoot, you miss, it's a save. That continuation will then count as the play happening if it wasn't going to necessarily yield a free position, and Elmhurst would get possession. So the attackers here for women's lacrosse have to really think about sometimes, can I score or can I just take such a good shot? So let's take another look at the situation. We'll try to break it down for you. So there is that whistle across the throat. Kim takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more steps, left pipe and in. So that's a situation where it was a lot of steps after the infraction. So if Kim would have missed and Elmhurst gets possession, that could have been Elmhurst's ball. But because Kim made the shot, they wanted to meet about it to secure, okay, is that enough steps, blah, blah, blah. I hope that makes sense to you watching and listening from home. Trying to teach the game of women's lacrosse is absolutely one of my favorites to broadcast. If you can't tell, on this Wednesday evening in Kenosha with 10 minutes until halftime. 10 goals or more is what starts the running clock. So Carthage would love to keep the offense churning along. Elmhurst wants to keep them at bay. Can they find some offense? If they at least get 1 more goal, they're keeping the Firebirds honest. Again, a short bench for Elmhurst right now. Only 1 player, number 8, Gabby Malik, out of Frankfort, Illinois. The only player suited up with a stick. If you look at some players not dressed for Carthage, 2 of the most key attackers, Augie Claridge and Heitschmidt. Heitschmidt third on the team with 20 goals. Claridge 48 goals on the season, neither dressed today. Elmhurst 20 remaining on the shot clock. This is the most either team have gone into a possession. Dodging off to the right, a little bit of contact. Push from behind. Looking for the gap and falling. And a reset of the shot clock, and possession will change. 9-2 your score, 8:34 remaining until half. We do have confirmation that it is just a rest day for Claridge. Hannah Kim putting on the afterburners, had goal number 3, dodges right, gets the contact, and she is going to get hit. Doubled over now, and as I mentioned earlier, she is not afraid to take contact, and a yellow card issued. She is still doubled over. Took about 3 steps. She's going to have a free position from the hanging hash off to the right. Waiting for the officials to give the go-ahead. They do. Kim in one time. Look for the one-touch pass. That'll stay with the Firebirds as back at X was number 10 for Carthage, Ari Solomon. And another goal! Hashtag fired up! Rosie Nolan, the Mighty Mac from Mother Macaulay Liberal Arts High School on the south side of Chicago. Nolan, goal number 2.
Goal by number 4, Rosie Nolan.
Again, you see so many high schools in the greater Chicagoland area developing lacrosse programs and new programs for women's athletics. Mother Macaulay just announcing they're going to also bring in girls flag football to get ready for the next level. And all I can say is if that ever reaches the D3 level here in Kenosha, that will be fun. 10-2. Draw control by the Firebirds. Almost falling down. So again, that yellow card is a player up advantage after Hannah Kim took one off the left clavicle. As we see a replay of the goal, that's where Kim got fouled. And you see her holding that left neck / clavicle area. And then the crisp pass into Nolan, the side swipe through the defenders with that 2-minute advantage on the yellow. On the ground it goes. Carthage once again looking for possession, taken away by the Firebirds. On the ground, Elmhurst fighting for it, ground ball opportunity, and the official saying Blue Jays ball. Off to the middle, finding space on the right. Now the ride of Carthage causing fits to Elmhurst. Running along the left side, staying in play. Again, that out of bounds line, the black line on the near side. So if you look around the goal crease, falling down in a goal. A much needed goal for the Blue Jays, number 1. Grace Eastman out of Stephen F. Austin High School. And Eastman gets goal number 30 on a historic senior season run. The hitman, the excellence of execution. And in Elmhurst history, arguably the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Grace Eastman delivers. To 3 your score. Firebird Broadcasting Network, 6:10 and change until halftime. The crisp pass ahead on the ground. Nolan can't find it. Scoop up offensively. Crisis averted for the Firebirds. Dodging in the lane. The shot off the right pipe and in. Bang! Carthage College, the ladies in red are heating up yet again. The call has been answered by the Firebirds. Caitlin Goff, 4 goals for Goff. What an evening for her. Caitlin Goff, the defender out of Maine South, last year appeared in 9 games with 6 goals. Her season high is 3 goals against Augustana, so she has now surpassed her season high. And the sophomore, of course, then a career high as well. And that's what you like to see if you're looking not only to the present but the future for Carthage. The fact that for the Firebirds, minus Sydney Kayeva and Emma McDonald, a very young squad for Carthage. Height Schmidt, a junior, Claridge, a sophomore, Lefevre. How about that? Another goal. This time, once again, Emma McDonald, the aforementioned senior, her 4th goal. She came in with 7 on the day. It is 11-3. Mark that now, 12-3. Emma McDonald, the pride of Tartan Senior High in Minnesota. All smiles, as you could see. 16 starts last season. Her season high 2 goals. She's crushed that number. Hannah Kim floats back as we take another look at the goal. Again, all the attention played to Lefevre, the slide a bit too late, and that's just that Maddie Burney special to Rachel Harris. I mean, year after year of Carthage College women's lacrosse, that's the 1-2 punch you saw. The defense is looking ahead to that 12-meter fan. Hard pass inside, picked out of the sky by Salmon. Carthage 1 goal away from the running clock. And the reason I bring that up is you'd have those players back at X. One makes a run and then the second trails right behind. Lefevre knows that. She's a junior now. She's seen it year after year. Her coaches and her have that same camaraderie and that same continuity. Now it's the same thing with Lefevre taking the charge and the other players that she's now on the field with. As mentioned, McDonald and Goff just stepping up and making it happen. 12-3 your score. So 2 players' career highs and season highs in goals scored in a game. And now coming away with it's the Firebirds and an opportunity to add on. Number 16, Taylor Ruff, the midfielder, making a run. How about that? Number 4. Every rose has its thorn. Rosie Nolan, the thorn in the side of the Blue Jays. Her 3rd goal. Give her the hat trick. 3 Carthage College Firebirds with 3+ goals. Nolan finding the back of the net. Clock now running. Rosie Nolan once again out of Mother Macaulay High School, the Mighty Macs. You may say, Peter, why do you know so much about the Mighty Macs? My sister went there, my cousins all went there, and my daughter goes to summer camp there. So I happen to know a lot about the Mighty Macs of Mother Macaulay High School. (13-3). It was a 2-1 start for Elmhurst. Need the win to stay in postseason contention. Easier said than done against the Firebirds. Carthage, if they win out today and versus North Central, claim the number 2 seed and will host next week. Elmhurst needs the win out and help to get to that 4th spot. A bit too far, sticking the stick out. Possession stays with Carthage. Great job by the replay crew to get us that goal yet again. If you were Elmhurst and you knew you came out 2-1, you were feeling it. You were saying, hey, we can keep up with this team. But also I want to say that just shows the growth of this program. Historically speaking, it's always favored the Firebirds. The turnaround and the shot. My goodness, what an evening. That time, number 13, yet again, Caitlin Goff put a line through it. 5 goals for Caitlin Goff. She came in with 9 on the season. My goodness, Caitlin Goff. We are witness. And it just shows when you have a sophomore defender who, because of injuries and rest, is thrust not only to the starting lineup but shifted defense to offense, having the best game of her career. And look at who comes away with the ground ball after the draw control. Side swipe and a save. Salmon says stop it. 14-3, 20 seconds remain. Elmhurst looking for at least a shot attempt. We might have a yellow issuance, which right now the clock will stop with the issuance of a card. So green card issued against number 16, that being 16 is going to be Taylor Ruff. So green card on Ruff, number 16. 16 seconds remain. Elmhurst would love nothing more than to get one goal going before half. The stretch pass a bit too far. 13 seconds remain. Clock continues to tick. Can Elmhurst get that one shot off? Under 8. Looking long range. 12-meter. Dodging between the two. Hits the ground. Loses the handle with 3, with 2, and it'll stop with 2.3 remaining. And in theory, here is the last shot of the half. The grounder, saved by Janes. She says, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. 14-3 your score going into half. Will Carthage and the running clock continue their winning ways before they head to Naperville on Saturday with a chance for the 2 seed, or will Elmhurst find their groove and come back in the second half of action? Don't go anywhere. Battle of the Birds, halftime break on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome in. Half number 2 about to get underway. Running clock will ensue. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. 14-3, your score. Firebirds leading over the visiting Blue Jays of Elmhurst. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being with us on this Wednesday evening in Kenosha. Beautiful evening off the lakefront of Lake Michigan, directly behind us in the press box. The Blue Jays coming away at the draw control. Again, one of the strengths we saw for them in half number 1 was that draw control and that early 2-1 lead. Carthage answered back in a 13-1 run to get that running clock going into halftime. Career high so far for a plethora of Carthage College Firebirds. On the near side, allowing now for a free position opportunity for Grace Eastman. Eastman looks for the pass off, nothing there. Dodging in at the top of the 12, resetting up the attack once again is Palermo. Palermo, one touch is over to Sardone. Ground ball, picking up the pieces off the ground once again, Hannah Kim. Pass back to Kara Janes, the sophomore out of Fishers, Indiana. And the Firebirds trying to reset up their attack. Kim pushes off to the outside. Again, Hannah Kim out of Aurora, Colorado. 5'2" junior, and again, we spoke about the future of this program. Oh, so bright for Carthage. The window is now and next year for that junior class to get that one touch older. Those underclassmen to step up into their roles. Near side looking for the movement, Lefevre. Once again, Heitschmidt and Augie Claridge both inactive for tonight. Suited up, number 28, Carly Young. Also want to note, Kara Janes has taken off her helmet, moved off to the bench. And in now, number 44, Suchi de Valivera, the freshman out of local Kenosha Indian Trail High School, is now in for the second half of action. She has played in 7 games so far, so no stranger to action. And again, that's how you get that 1-2 punch. Jane's only a sophomore. Del Valle Vera, a freshman. So the future, once again, looking strong for the netminders, for the Firebirds. Off to the left side. Oh, off the one touch. Challenge knocked away by de Valivera. Here's some of the faithful for the Firebirds clapping along. Dodging off to the left. Looking for the one touch. Kim poked from behind. Picks up the pieces and the race is on. Right now, the out of town North Central, a commanding 14-8 lead. One of 2 games. And that will actually be final. 14-10 is now your reported final for North Central and Augustana. So the battle for the 2 seed will go through Naperville, Illinois. Thank you to our executive producer, John, for throwing that up. Carthage cruising. Not only has the 10-goal lead, but that 1-goal buffer to keep that clock ticking. So for all intents and purposes, we're 30 minutes away, or 25 minutes at this point, from Elmhurst elimination to the postseason, and Carthage locking in the 2 or the 3. Augustana will face Carroll this Saturday, simultaneous to that North Central Carthage game, as well as Elmhurst and Illinois Wesleyan. And a goal, back left corner. Rosie Nolan, just a little bit of a head nod. And as they say in Descendants, she sees red, red, red.
And a vibrant goal by number 4, Rosie Nolan, for her 4th.
4th goal for Nolan. Continues up. Had 19 on the season. Piper Lefevre. Again, it was Lefevre and Heitschmidt as those outstanding true freshmen, and you wondered who would take the place of Bernie and Harris. That, of course, being Augie Claridge. Outstanding as a freshman in her own right, some learning curves as well. Now leads the charge offensively, 48 goals. Again, with a postseason spot secured, after a win today, there is the potential they hold her out for next Wednesday in that CCIW tournament opener. And you always want to play at home. Carthage this season, 3-1 at home, 1-1 in conference play. Haven't had a lot of opportunities at home. Some weather delays, some cancellations. Some of the games just not rescheduled. But that's the way the old cookie crumbles when it's February and March weather along the lake. So, looks like we're going to have a yellow card. A yellow card slashing called against Bailey Castle. So two officials had different hand motions. That's why you had the pause by myself, waiting for clarification. But with that being said, it is now a 2-minute slashing against Bailey Castle. The first 2 out of 3 goals by the Blue Jays scored in a woman-up advantage early on in quarter number 1. A green and yellow card respectively in those circumstances. Now, opportunity at hand for the Blue Jays to inch closer to make it 9. As I've had many conversations with coaches from the D3 to the D1 level about that running clock, and they said, step 1, stop it. Stop that running clock. Put as much pressure on, because they said if you don't put the pressure on right away and you just kind of try to chip away, they said time's going to run out. You got to put the pedal on the metal, get that running clock stopped, then you can go back into a normal offense. One coach of reference actually right up the road, Coach Meredith Black, the head coach of Marquette University, had many opportunities to have conversations with her. Again, one of the best coaches in the Big East Conference, and she is one that has told me time after time, whether you are on the opposing end or the receiving end, if you are on that 10-goal lead, you don't want to rest on that. You want to extend that lead, get 2-3 goal buffer, so that way it forces the hand even more. She said, if you're down, goal number 1, score quick, score fast, first goal, take the first shot attempt, throw it back there, hope for the goal. You cannot do a full set offense because that'll take too much time and you will run out of time to catch up. To the near side, pushing up ahead, number 1, having a stellar day in her own right, Gracie Eastman. Again, one of the best to ever lace him up for the Blue Jays. once again, North Central 14-10 over Augustana. Augustana was leading early. Central then put down the hammer and found their way back, got the lead and kept it. Hannah Kim, stop me if you heard me, puts the stick in the lane and now turns on the Jets. Trying to turn the defense into offense. The endurance and fitness of one Hannah Kim, unrivaled in the CCIW. We have 5 minutes remaining in the third, and she runs as if she has a fresh pair of legs, and we're a minute into the contest. Back to X, going near side. Here comes the play. Some runners. The isolation, the stop, still hits the ground. Picks up the pieces as Goff. Looking at the top, Kim resets up. She has a goal this evening, her 3rd of the season. And she gets clipped yet again. As I said earlier in the broadcast, Hannah Kim, part of it is she's 5'2", and why does that bear mentioning? And a yellow card going to be issued. That is the second yellow card issued against the Blue Jay on a piece of contact toward Hannah Kim. She's 5'2", and why do I say that one more time is if you are an opposing player and you put that stick out because you might be 2-3 inches taller than her, that stick's going to go right, letter high and above, and you're hitting her in the neck, the throat, the larynx, the solar plexus, all around that area, and really causing fits because these whistles will get called, understandably and rightfully so. Kim looks for goal number 4 on the season, can't find it. Back to X we go. Near side now and resetting up is going to be Rosie Nolan. Reset of the shot clock. There's a minute 43 remaining in the penalty clock. Running clock with 4:15 in the third. As we take another look at that piece of contact. Yeah, there is that crotch check right into the left side of the neck of Hannah Kim, and that just happens with that height differential. The grounder! The worm burner goal for number 13, Caitlin Goff, as she says, feed me more. Goal number 6 on the season. Caitlin Goff, 9 goals on the season, and she's got 6 more today. She has 6 today, 9 on the season. Her 6th goal tonight. She may just go ahead and have a fun one and match the 9, her season count in a single game. Clock continues to run again, 16-3 your score. It was an early lead for Elmhurst. Fever matching up against MC Brown, the senior out of McChesney Park, Illinois. LaFever goes back, and the cleanest draw control by the Firebirds tonight. What a piece of work by LaFever. .2:15 remaining. Great job by the replay crew. Stick down. That was once again a player up opportunity for the Firebirds. Playing the left foot, dodging off to the right. Stick handling, that one's going to work its way out of play. goals by an individual. Augie Claridge 3 times hit 7 against Marion in February, UW Lacrosse in March, and Lake Forest and the Foresters at the end of March. So Augie Claridge at 7. Caitlin Goff 1 away from tying that mark, and I'm sure that she would be more than happy with that. Grounder on the near side. Elmhurst flicks it up in the air, but that goes into the stick of Nolan. Last season, you want to talk about all-time records. Augustana, April the 13th. Last year, Augie Claridge, 10 goals in a single game. So, for those that haven't seen her, Augie Claridge, good at lacrosse. 35 seconds remaining. Look for the Firebirds to hold on to the final shot of the quarter number 3. A firm goal, knocked from behind, letting him play on Lefevre. And they're going to give possession to the Blue Jays. So Lefevre was calling for contact right around the kidney area. They let him play on. Elmhurst just being aware that the whistle didn't get blown. Then the defender couldn't quite see who it was, hit the ground, and now on the near side, 6-5-4. Good ride defensively. Whistle going to get called, letting him play on, and that will be the end of quarter number 3. At half, it was 14-3. 2 more goals by the Firebirds, and we're 15 minutes away from the Firebirds looking ahead to Saturday. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back into the Firebird Broadcasting Network. 15 minutes away Carthage College securing that postseason spot. But where the seating will be, we'll have to wait until Saturday on the road against North Central, as they won 14-10 against Augustana. We want to thank you for being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri. Excited to be with you, and if the Firebirds win on Saturday, we'll have one more at home. As the Firebirds would then welcome the 3 seed, potentially North Central, based on how the rest of the chips fall. Hard to believe that April is already coming to an end in the NCAA season. We'll be right there off the crossbar. And an assist on the defensive side as the pipes helping out Karina Salmon, the senior. Shot hits the bottom and goes. And they're going to say possession Elmhurst, or we have a stoppage because of a potential injury. So looks like coming off the field, number 15, Andrea Mertland. Let's see on a replay. Yeah, it looks like she got the end of the stick of Emma McDonald right in the rib cage as she is gingerly making her way off to the bench. Anna Kim now off to the side. Her evening may be done. Again, already a goalie change for the Firebirds. Falling over, you can see in the background the new lights for Art Keller Field. So fun. But it has vastly improved the vision and line of sight for the players, and of course, selfishly speaking, me up in the booth. It's always a plus when the facilities just keep getting better across not only the conference but the region. And truly, Carthage second to none when it comes to the CCIW. Very destination spot for top athletes locally and across the nation. Again, as we mentioned, Anna Kim from Aurora, Colorado. Bailey Castle, Chesterfield, Mississippi. The Cayeva girls from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. De Valevera, right down the block in Kenosha. 12:22 and counting. Here's the situation now if you're the Firebirds. You are more than content with taking as much time as you want each and every possession, because you not only have the running clock, but you have 3 more on top of that to make sure it keeps running. Seconds remaining in the shot clock. Again, if you're the Firebirds, you at least want to get a shot off. They do. They got a goal. Emma McDonald making it look easy. Goal number 5 now for McDonald.
And a Firebirds goal by number 15, Emma McDonald, her 5th game tonight. And
What a turn of events as Elmhurst was up 2-1. Mind you, it felt like it was only a matter of time before Carthage hit their groove. They did in a resounding fashion. A 16-1 run. And I keep saying this in an as optimistic way as possible. Elmhurst, a growing program, a newer program, still trying to find their footing, but they're able to find these players, a lot of up-and-coming freshmen that are going to make an impact, the sophomores as well. Sardone's a freshman. Zimzak, a sophomore. Conyers, a freshman out of Mattoon, Illinois. Here we see the replay. Coming in right at the crease. Switching off, pulled the goalkeeper Salmon out. The defender just couldn't get in front in time. Salmon did the right thing of getting in the lane. And now a takeaway for the Firebirds. A stretch pass ahead. Short bench for Carthage today. Augustana falling to 1 and 4. They will face Carroll. Should Augustana fall to Carroll on Saturday, your 1 through 4 will be Carroll, Carthage, North Central, and Illinois Wesleyan. Illinois Wesleyan sitting at 2 and 2 right now, as they will face Elmhurst, but Carthage having the tiebreaker over Illinois Wesleyan. So should Illinois Wesleyan win to move up to 3 and 2 and have the same record as Carthage, should Carthage fall to North Central, just a lot going on. Carthage would keep the 3 seed, the 4 seed would be Illinois Wesleyan. I hope it all makes sense. But should Carthage and North Central both, so right now Carthage looking to move up to 3 and 1. So it'll be 3 and 1 versus 2 and 2 potentially on Saturday. Should Carthage win outright, boom, 2nd seed locked in. Should Carthage lose and be 3 and 2 and North Central move up to 3 and 2, North Central would flip, be the 2 seed, but even if Illinois Wesleyan wins against Elmhurst, because of earlier this year, a 10-8 victory, Illinois Wesleyan falling to Carthage just a few days ago on the 19th, an away game for Carthage. Carthage then has that tiebreaker and would lock in the 3 seed. So once again, Carthage, a win today, a win Saturday. They host North Central next week. The only thing we'd have to look at, let me get this momentarily. I don't want to be misguide anybody on our analytics here or on our postseason scenarios. Pushing to the near side, Ari Solomon. Solomon is going to head to the hanging hash with a free position on the season. Solomon, 1 goal. Can she find number 2? Dodging in, pulls back, resets up the attack. Looking for the long-range shot, pulling back the pieces. The side swipe and Lefevre. The only prescription, more cowbell. As you heard it ringing, nice nod to Will Ferrell. I've had 2 Will Ferrell references in back-to-back broadcasts. I'm really proud of myself for bringing out SNL references from 25 years ago, before any of these players were born. So clearly, hopefully the moms and dads and aunts and uncles and older cousins watching will get any sort of reference to Will Ferrell. 18-3, 6 minutes and change. Piper Lefevre only goal number 2. Rosie Nolan 4, Goff 6, McDonald 5, Hannah Kim 1. So going into the tiebreakers, I want to mention this as well. Should North Central fall to Carthage on Saturday, and if Illinois Wesleyan beats beats Elmhurst, the tiebreaker is Illinois Wesleyan defeated North Central at home 22 to 13, which means Illinois Wesleyan would leap from the 4 to the 3, and it would be Illinois Wesleyan at Carthage next Wednesday, and it would then be North Central at Carroll next Wednesday. So a turn of events. That's why so much leans in to not only today, but what we will see on Saturday with 4:44 to go. Hannah Kim tries to pass off through the sea of sticks, and why not? Sydney Kayeva. Her first goal of the season. Hugs abound, and that's just pure luck. And when she's on your side, that's the type of goals. It was a sea of stick. Kayeva just swatted it down like a tennis racket. Carthage, of course, having one of the best tennis programs in the nation. And Kayeva coming away with a goal. Her first of the season, the assist from Kim. And that's just your feel-good moment. In the circle now, Rosie Nolan. And first goal of the season for Kayeva, her senior year. 3 minutes remaining. Last time Kayeva scoring a goal, the 2023 campaign, she scored one against Augustana, April the 13th, and did not score her freshman year of 2022. So her second goal of her career, first in over 2 years. Whistle called, cross-check. Clock ticks, 2:15 remaining in the game. Driving in and the shot. Another one. Piper Lefevre, hat trick. Goal 41 on the year.
And a vibrant goal by number 19.
And there's not much else to say. That Carthage College and the Firebirds are poised and ready to take on the Cardinals on Saturday. No other way around it. And North Central, I am sure, is going to rewatch this game and say, okay, Carthage took the first hit, bounced back, put the foot down, and did nothing but dominate for the rest of the contest. Under 60 seconds to go. Possession now with the Firebirds. Wouldn't be surprised if they just run it out. Elmhurst actually comes away with the takeaway. 30 ticks remaining. Elmhurst would like to find one more as we take a look at that sequence. Lefevre, free position, and that's just how good she is. 3 steps, let her rip. So throwing her hands up in a fit, Davale Vera. Running to the near side as fast as she can, Isabella Kieva. Trying to fight through, she gets cross-checked. And that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. The Firebirds with a resounding victory, trailing 2-1 in the first, coming back 19-1 run, defeating the Blue Jays in the Battle of the Birds 20-3. What an evening for Carthage, as once again it bears mentioning they will be facing North Central. We'll get to that momentarily, but Elmhurst will be taking on Illinois Wesleyan at 3 o'clock. That will be this upcoming Saturday, not Wednesday, April the 26th at 3 o'clock. As for Carthage, again, the stage is set. They will be taking on North Central, an early game that will be taking place at 11 a.m. this upcoming Saturday. Let's look now at your final stats of the afternoon, or I should say of the evening. Janes back in goal, 2 saves, 3 goals against. Davale Vera not having faced any offense against her. 11 assists to 1 the ratio for the Firebirds over the Blue Jays. 40 shots to 6. Shots on goal 22-3. 16-4 the ground ball differential. 6 saves for Salmon on 20 goals against. 7 minutes of penalty time. However, for the Firebirds, that was one of the challenges they had early, to 4 minutes of penalty time against Elmhurst. Individually speaking, Goff, 6 goals, 1 away from the season high that Augie Claridge holds 3 games. As we take a look now, again, the differential 16-4 ground balls, really a big mark, and 25-11 the turnover ratio. We spoke about the defense of the Firebirds, how strong, how staunch they are, and it just proved fruitful again yet here today. And the 20 for 20 in clears for Carthage, perfect with clearing out what they saw on the defensive side. 17 out of 18 for the Blue Jays, not too shabby in their own right. So Blue Jays once again eliminated from postseason contention, but can play a little bit of the spoiler this weekend and can push Illinois Wesleyan down to the 4 seed should they steal one against the Titans of IWU. As for these two teams, again, going in different directions, but the Firebirds, Saturday, 11 a.m., April the 26th at North Central. The number 2 seed on the line. You see head coach Maddie Burney having a solid piece of conversation with the team. Started out a little slow, picked up the pace, and didn't look back. We want to thank you for being with us this Wednesday evening in Kenosha. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, as well as director Laura Graphics Addison, and camera Ty and Logan, a completely student-run broadcast. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2025. Once again, your final 20-3 Firebirds over the Blue Jays in the Battle of the Birds. If Carthage hosts next week, I will be with you one more time. If they fall, they will be on the road, and for that, I will say it's been a pleasure to be with you this spring season for NCAA Division III Women's Lacrosse and the CCIW. Once again, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for being with us. Potentially, we'll see you next Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone.